Hi, it's Katie Mackenzie, your host of I Love Vancouver Real Estate and mortgage professional with TMG The Mortgage Group. I'm here today with Charlotte Bhimji, Realtor with Sutton Group, West Coast Realty, and Jeff Kee, CEO and Director at Brixwork Real Estate Marketing. We are in the Brixwork Real Estate Marketing office, and Jeff's team is working hard behind us. So if you hear some tapping away, that's them. Thank you both for joining me today. Charlotte, tell us a bit about yourself.
Good morning, Katie. Thank you so much for having me. I'm a realtor who specializes in downtown Vancouver condos, and I work very closely with Jeff at Brixworks Marketing.
Fantastic. Jeff?
Yeah, Brixwork Real Estate Marketing is a firm that provides fancy branding, websites, and design media, print media, everything for realtors in Vancouver and some other parts of the Lower Mainland. And Charlotte is one of our top clients, and we're very happy to be here with Katie, our mortgage broker. So,
Excellent. So a lot of my clients will ask, how do they get their property noticed? They all, all clients have access to MLS and listings, but they want to know how they choose the right realtor who's working with the right marketing firm to get their property noticed. So Charlotte, what ways do you add value for clients to get their properties noticed?
So the way that I add value is I use professional photographers, I use professional floor plans, and I work with companies like Jeff's, which is a professional marketing firm. They do an excellent job with everything in terms of online media presence as well as print media, as well as for websites. The development is beautiful and very mobile friendly, which is what we're seeing a lot of people accessing in terms of on the go.
Yeah, more than a third of visits to our websites as of 2 years ago were coming from mobile devices, and I'm sure that number is going up and up a few percent every year. So it's one of the key points that we focus on when we first started working with realtors like Charlotte, the top guys. Mobile presence was a key.
So going back to the first thing you said, Charlotte, professional photography, one would think not necessarily needing professional photos when you're on a mobile device. However, I myself have seen some pretty horrendous photos or lack of photos, iPhone photos. I saw a listing the other day that actually had penguins just to be able to have something visual to catch the eye. Actually happen. So that's one of the things. So in what other ways then, Jeff, do you then assist in working with Charlotte to add that value?
Well, vanity is such an important thing. We're all human. We like how things look. So our websites make sure to show the photos well. Charlotte and our clients at that level put a ton of effort into the material that they produce for their listings to get the maximum exposure. So how well our sites are designed really matters. Also, another huge aspect is social media marketing, where you blast out the listing throughout Facebook and Twitter and Google+. And when you do that, you also want the share material to look meticulously organized with the right photo with the right heading. So those are the back end things that our team does on a regular basis to ensure that our realtors get the best exposure, therefore giving their clients' listings the best exposure. Because, Charlotte, you can probably tell me this, as soon as a listing sits on the market for too long, people start wondering, well, are they desperate to sell? Maybe we can lowball them, or maybe there's something wrong with it.
100%.
So
it's so important to make your presence known right away and to put your best foot forward just right off the bat. People don't have the attention span, and if you only put up one photograph or a poor photograph, they skim that listing and they put it to the back of their list, and it becomes a sleeper.
I was just going to say that first impression is key and paramount, because literally we make decisions in 3 seconds or less, and if yours isn't at the top of the list, it's not going to be the property that you're looking for.
100%.
Yeah. You're going to have a very empty open house.
And when we're talking about that too, it's not just what a buyer sees, it's also what their realtor, the buyer's agent, is looking for, right? Something that is at their expectation level of viewability and searchability too.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, because when I'm scouring through listings, if it doesn't appeal to me, it automatically goes to a lower list.
So you're talking back to floor plans. Does Jeff assist then also with presentations? Like when a client is coming through an open house and you've got your presentation or floor plan and everything there for buyers to look at, does he assist with that as well?
100%. Jeff does beautiful marketing material for handouts at an open house, so it can be a several page brochure. So absolutely. And in addition to that, if I'm doing a mail out, Jeff's company helps with that as well.
Okay.
when it's being advertised for sale, as well as after it's been sold.
Okay. Do you see a marked improvement in sales, quicker sales, more attention to your website as a result of engaging in this style of marketing and working with a professional to do so?
Absolutely. People pick up the marketing material and they comment on the quality, who did it, just small things, just how clean and simple the design is, and very complimentary. But yes, it does make a big difference.
Great.
Realtors notice it, as well as the buyers.
Yeah. Another important metric to note is, even with the recent tax applied on the foreign buyers and this and that, August saw a pretty big slowdown in terms of the number of sales, especially in a higher price bracket. Mm-hmm. But our numbers in August with our clients especially show that we had very little slowdown, which means our clients are still performing excellently, which really reinforces the point of view that Charlotte and I have, where premium marketing does make a difference. So we really put a lot of effort into that. Mm-hmm. So it may sound like a self-serving statement, but it's not, because the numbers never lie, right?
Mm-hmm. Now, Charlotte, we've seen certain price points in the market slow down as a result of the introduction of the new foreign buyers tax. Other markets haven't. That being said, if a seller still needs to sell, they need to get top price for their home. So other than engaging with Brixworks and having those key marketing pieces and social media presence, how else do you add value to get top dollar for the seller? Mm-hmm.
It's very important to have staging for your listing, because it showcases it in the best light. It's very powerful. It's statistically proven that you can get more money for something that is staged. For example, I had a recent listing that sold significantly over asking, in addition to a recent sale in the building. So it was actually 11% over a recent property that was same size, same orientation, and actually the one that sold for a lower price was on a higher floor, and we were on a lower floor. Huh. So just shows you good presentation through staging makes a big difference.
So not just tidy up, put the toys away, throw in a coat of paint, like proper professional staging.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. And Jeff, you can probably attest to that. I know with my love of photography as well, that shows better in marketing and print material as opposed to, what we generally live with.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you got to go further than just putting the toilet seat down. I mean, 11% is a huge difference. But yes, I have seen similar stats to that effect, where realtors report that staging does make a huge impact. And besides, I mean, if you're going to spend the money and time and effort to get professional photography, professional home video tours and everything done, why wouldn't you go a little bit extra to stage your home, because the return on investment is there?
One thing that would come to mind for me, I've never staged in any sale that I've engaged in as a seller myself. I would think it would either be disruptive or costly. Could you speak to those 2 points?
That's a good point. It's not costly if you look at the big picture, because you're going to be getting more money in the end. Mm-hmm. In terms of being disruptive, it can be added on to your space, so it can just be little pieces, little paintings that come into play, just to make sure that everything is cohesive in terms of colors throughout the home. Or if it's a vacant property, you're not there anyways, and you can just have furniture for a short time.
Yeah. So property looks larger with furniture than without.
Oh, big time, yeah. Empty rooms look ridiculous until you put a queen size bed in, and then you realize, hey, hang on, this does fit. And I recently actually had an experience where a place that I lived in when I was much younger, they were showing their property with all the furniture taken out eventually. They evicted us before the showing, which is illegal. Yeah, one of the complaints that they got was the second bedroom looks too small, and I could personally attest that it's actually not that small. Mm-hmm. So yeah, furniture has to be there, because people are picturing what their lives are going to be like when they move in, or what their life, what kind of space that they're looking at ultimately. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I believe in it.
Yeah, no, it's very powerful. Coming from a pre-sale background, you'd always want to make sure that everything was absolutely perfect in the space.
Yeah. I mean, why else would they have those showrooms full of furniture, mimicking a live environment?
Yeah,
right?
Completely. No, I've always had positive feedback from clients for staging. If anything, they like it more, and they've considered not moving because it looks so great.
So you'd stage before you did the photography and the presentation materials, and leave it staged during that sale process?
Yes.
I've just never done that myself, so I just hadn't had that experience personally. So I think it's important for our listeners who have not gone through that or not even had that introduced by a realtor before to add value, because I find there's a wide range of realtors in today's market, and some are more hands-on, and like yourself, and others do as little as possible. No photos on the listings, no staging, anything like that. So I know you had mentioned to me, that having a hands-on realtor is paramount in any given market for any client. So do you want to speak to how you do that for your clients? Give that, other than the marketing side of things and working with Brixwork, how you also add value for your clients.
Oh, I'm a very hands-on realtor. I pride myself, to my own fault, but I fall in love with each of my clients. So I have to set boundaries for myself, because it's so nice working with people, and just it's so rewarding. But I'm very meticulous. I love checklists, and I love only working with a certain amount of people at a time, so I can give them top-notch customer service. So I typically only work with 5 groups at a time. So that way I can be very attentive with my emails, my phone calls, texts, or whatever it is that they need. I pride myself on doing a lot of correspondence on their behalf as well. So working very closely with the mortgage broker and anything else that they would need.
Yeah, I guess the seller or the other agent on the other side, or the lawyer, or anything like that.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
Now, Jeff, how does your firm keep up with the demand from the realtors to have this style of marketing, right? To have that top-notch marketing produced?
Good question. Well, for one, our team has grown to nearly double the size in the last 2 years through steady demand from top realtors like Charlotte. And we're actually the same way, where we don't work with a ton of volume like some of our competitors do. We sort of almost cherry pick our clients based on what kind of criteria they meet, and we also set up our offerings to that standard. So because we work with boutique realtors like Charlotte, our material also has to be pretty high end. And we're also very meticulous in our record keeping of what clients want and the array of printers that we work with in the city. We're very selective of our providers as well, because if Charlotte's giving us premium photography to work with, we're not going to print it on a cheap material, right? So a lot of thought goes into not just the website side of things, but also who Brixwork works with as suppliers. A lot of little details here and there, and that's what makes a teamwork work between us, because it takes more than just 2 people to sell a property.
Oh yeah,
way more than just the 2 realtors involved. There's notaries, lawyers involved, and then there's also marketing guys like us involved, photographers, videographers, everything.
Yeah, so, it would actually be really interesting to take a client behind the scenes and say, here's what really goes on in the transaction from start to finish. It's
busy days. I mean, Charlotte and our team go through several emails, almost a dozen emails a day when there's things happening, and we're very hands-on, very responsive to the queries, and go back and forth to finalize the product, get it ready for the open house. It's also time sensitive, so very. When
a listing comes, it comes fast. It needs to get up and on the market. So
cash today is better than cash in a month, so we like to help Charlotte sell them fast. And that's what her clients are happy about as well. So
definitely.
Charlotte, is there anything else that you do for your clients sort of on that marketing side to get their property seen that you wanted to add?
Definitely a strong online presence in addition to the print marketing, but it's also just connecting through newsletters and through all of my contacts at the office. So that reach is extensive, and it could be up to 2,000 people for each listing, in addition to your regular MLS. So those are people that I have a relationship and they know me, so they can ask additional questions.
Well, and your firm gives leverage to that.
Well, I can't really help with how charming she is. People just love Charlotte. So, if she sends something out, people pay attention, yes.
Yeah.
Ways in which we help is we actually did Charlotte's branding and logo and everything, so that any material that she produces, whether it's online, offline, is all very consistent and noticeable from a mile away. So that also helps to imprint that brand image in people.
I know before I met Charlotte, I was already following her on Instagram. So
see, there you go.
So, and I'm a very visual, a love of photography. It's my second love other than mortgage brokering. But so that's a testament to the work that you had done, obviously. And
that's good.
Looking to connect with realtors that provide that strength and branding to the client, because that inevitably shows the value that you can add as a realtor when you're working with them.
I've been so proud of everything that has come from Brixworks, because I can show it off, and people love it. It's very powerful.
Oh yeah, the Instagram postings that Charlotte does, a lot of it comes from our office, from the wonderful team that you can hear working behind me here. We do all of that stuff, and it does make a difference in the long term. It's a long-term game to gain the brand awareness. And then when your realtor has a bigger reach, your listing has a bigger reach consequently. So it's like sharpening your axe, right? You got to take your time to prepare yourself for the long term in this market if you're going to be a realtor for a long time and have long-term clients and long-term relationships in this market.
So Charlotte, I'll ask you, if a client was interviewing you and wanting to work with you and or possibly someone else, how would they ask that realtor to determine if they're working with the right supporting partners and team, such as a marketing team and all the other aspects, to choose you over someone else?
Well, to be honest, I don't think a lot of people are using additional companies to support their business. I think a lot of realtors are doing it all themselves, which is where they're falling behind. So there's a very select number of realtors who are basically paying for extra services and hiring professionals. I don't pretend to do it all. I'd much rather delegate to somebody who really knows what they're doing, and I trust Brixworks implicitly, so I rely on them very heavily.
And then you can do the hands-on with the client.
100%.
Yeah, I find, clients will come to me and ask me, how do I select a realtor? And I said, well, there's a myriad of reasons to choose different realtors, but you want the ones that add value. And just like you said with staging, that cost more than outweighs the resulting increase in price sold. Right? You said 11% increase. So there's value in having, that little bit of input at the beginning for more service value add.
Yeah, I mean, Charlotte, correct me if I'm wrong, but if any realtor passes the same set of tests to become licensed, and they have access to the same listings and the history, don't they, through the MLS and the Paragon system, as the realtors call it, their own back end. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. So in terms of knowledge and data and access to inventory, they're all the same.
Correct.
So then the personal attention and the budgeting is where one realtor stands out ahead of the others. Right? So
Charlotte, is there anything else that you'd like to add, or can let people know how to get a hold of you if they do have more questions and or would like to speak to you with regards to engaging your services as a realtor?
Well, I'm always available. You can contact me by phone, email, or text. My number is 778-238-6530.
And what's your Instagram name?
It's at Charlotte Bhimji Realtor.
Jeff, how do people get a hold of you?
If you want to get a hold of any of us, Charlotte or Brixwork, you can follow the links at the bottom of this podcast, and you should be able to get a hold of both of us.
Fantastic. Well, thank you both for your time today. I know time is valuable, but I'm sure our listeners appreciate the information. And we welcome any of our listeners. If you have any other questions for either Charlotte or Jeff, please do reach out, or to me, your host, at I Love Vancouver Real Estate. And thank you once again for listening, and have an excellent day.